Hello from a very rainy and wet Eliot estate. It has been raining the last couple days off and on, and today it's supposed to be like a high of like 42 or something, and so I thought it would be the perfect time to get out here and start plucking weeds and getting things maintained while the ground is still wet and nice. Our forecast for like the next 7 to 10 days is looking like with a low of like 50 to a high of like 70 to 80. So very much perfect spring weather. But I started in on cleaning up behind me. The landscaping fabric had all ripped up and stuff when the big tree fell. And so it was kind of pulled up around the roses and the hydrangeas. So I started to relay that. This grass patch right here is going to be laid with landscaping fabric as well, because we're going to be adding some beds and then also pea graveling everything where you see all of the landscaping fabric here in the flower garden. I also started to tackle these raised beds here where I plant cut flowers and that kind of stuff. So I wanted to just try and tackle more maintenance here in the flower garden. And so I wanted to show you what I'm going to be working on today. I have 5 peony bushes right here, and I got half of the bed weeded, so I'm going to be finishing out that. I got this bed, which is where I plant some cut flowers, all done a couple days ago, and then I still need to tackle over here. So I want to like get the trowel and stuff through here and get it all scraped and kind of pretty and ready for planting, because we're going to be planting here in the next week or so. Back here, I want to get the asparagus bed cleaned up. I did do a hard prune on the kiwi bush. It's probably been about a month now, and so I think I can just like weed around the base and stuff, because you can see some green popping through there. And then just like a bunch of cleanup on the landscaping fabric. Over here where we have our vegetable garden, all of the raised beds could be weeded. You can see we have a nice flush of our first weeds, and so I'm going to be coming in here and getting these all prepped and ready. All of them are going to need to be topped off with more soil and stuff. And then you can see around the bases of them, we have a bunch of weeds where like the gravel isn't very thick. I never did get to pruning the grape arbor, but I would love to get this all cleaned up. And then you can see that one of our support posts needs to be re-screwed in. So basically, I'm just going to be doing miscellaneous jobs, trying to clean up this area because it's starting to look pretty sad. I have a bunch of stuff that can be cleaned up over here by the greenhouse, some glass actually, which isn't the safest. So if you just want to follow me along, we'll get some of this cleaned up. It's like the perfect time to do it, because like I said, the ground is wet and pliable and it's not hot, so it makes it really manageable. 2 things that make weeding actually really enjoyable for me. One, I bring out our Bluetooth speaker and I put on a really like fancy classical music, and to me it's just like mind blowing, because it's obviously like very mindless work of weeding, and just listening to that classical music and stuff, it really inspires me when you're doing a job like this. And 2, I don't know where I was going with that, so let's get to weeding. Shoo, 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 shoo. Wow, it looks so good. And my back is going to be screaming at me tomorrow. I knew that the chickens would get in there. It's just a matter of time. They fling out all the dirt. So I'm going to have to put just a temporary fence around these couple beds. But okay, let's start over here with the peonies because that's where we started. Looks so good. Then I took the little rake and I roughed up all the dirt and refreshened it. Got this bed all refreshed. I need to get the pavers out of there. And then this bed wasn't too bad. I did keep one lavender plant down here because it looked like there was a little bit of small growth on it, so we'll see if it comes back this spring. And then Taylor has some blue spruce starts down here that he's been growing for a couple of years. Got weeded around there. The biggest thing was moving these doggone railroad ties, which are heavy. The fabric only like went up to here, and then I never moved them to get it tucked underneath of it, because that's like the best way for weeds so they don't like grow like into the ground in like the crevice of the tie. So got that done and it looks so good and it looks so refreshed and ready for some small plants. I did mention that I was going to maybe tackle the raised beds, and I think I just want to focus on the flower garden at this point. I just want to get it all cleaned up, and then that way I can lay the landscaping fabric, because this is all going to be pea gravel as well. If you guys can remember, I mentioned that in another video that we are going to do 2 additional short beds like the asparagus bed here. So those are going to go, you know, just directly down from these larger ones. And so it'll be a little bit more structured and kind of formal setting. And then once all of the landscaping fabric is down, we'll come in with pea gravel and we can start utilizing these 2 beds for flowers as well. Back here we have the roses here in front. The cast iron tub I'm gonna be using somewhere else in the garden, I think. So that'll be relocating. We have the roses here that I want to add in a little bit more roses, and then we have a hedge of hydrangeas in the back. So if you can just envision this all kind of, oh yeah, here comes the rain. Here, if you can just imagine it with pea gravel and then the flowers in bloom, it is going to be so delightful, and I can't wait to have all of the gravel done. And obviously we have held off on putting the pea gravel down just because things weren't ready and we just haven't made the time quite yet. But I'm so excited for it to all be like laid, and it'll be a really clean appearance. It'll just be like perfection. And plus the sound of crunching pea gravel underneath your feet when you're walking through the flower and vegetable garden is magical. I'm gonna end the day here. I got so much done and the boys will be home anytime soon. So I ended up getting the landscaping fabric down, and this landscaping fabric is from a local nursery. However, I have heard that the DeWitt Pro, oh, hold on. Is that a little bit better? Have another cloud of rain coming through. But the DeWitt Pro, if you're looking for landscaping fabric, I hear that is like the best. Okay, we're gonna go we're gonna go in the greenhouse because it's getting a little obnoxious. I will link that below for you guys, the DeWitt Pro. And then I also have a pack of landscaping staples that come in 500. I believe that's the quantity. And I use those every, like, I don't know, 2 to 3 feet to staple those down. Like I said, I will link those down below as well. It was just like raining on and off all day today, but I'm really, really happy with the progress I got done. I was starting to weed over in the vegetable raised beds, and I came across a little bunny nest. So I just put the weeds right back where I found them, and I just walked away, but they were all curled up in there, and they were looking all snuggly and stuff. And do you see this? I have a nice dirt manicure, just the way I like it. I honestly prefer not to wear any gloves because it just gets all the good crevices, you know, all the roots. So anyway, where we're at, landscaping fabric. I just cover the landscaping fabric right over the grass. I don't see any point in ripping up the grass because it's all going to be pea graveled, and the landscaping fabric kills the grass anyway. So I put it all over, even though we're going to be adding those 2 smaller beds. And then once we're ready to bring in those railroad ties, I'll just cut out the landscaping fabric from the inside. So that way we have just dirt, and hopefully by then it should start to kill the grass. So we should have a nice start to our bed. Where that little pot, the little black pot, is knocked over, I have a big tall unique stone urn that will be standing right there, and then I'll plant it up. I might underplant it with like a ring of lavender or a ring of boxwoods. I'm not entirely sure, but I did put 2 boxwoods up here that I got last year that I overwintered, and I think it'd be really pretty to have just that green structure that I can keep into a tight sphere there at the entry of the cut flower garden. I still need to put the fencing around because I know that the chickens are going to be back. We don't let them out too often for free range, but I know that they're just dying to get in this nice, fresh, fluffy dirt. So that is where I'm going to end today. I'm really, really happy with how much stuff I got done. I knew it was going to be a chore to lay the landscaping fabric and just clean up all the beds and stuff, but it feels very motivating to have this done. And especially like whenever you see the peonies and stuff with a nice, just really fresh dirt underneath, it's renewing. So I hope whatever project you are dreading and letting it kind of be daunting, I hope that this is motivating just to get after it and tackle it. Honestly, now that I can see all of the landscaping fabric down, it's really refreshing for me to be able to start to see the design that I can picture in my head kind of come to life. So like I said, we will add those railroad ties and get those beds set here in the next couple weeks, and then hopefully we can start laying pea gravel, which is really, really exciting. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for visiting the Eliot estate.